No one lives forever. Yeah, right. Just because I'm balding and have a beer belly doesn't mean I won't stay young for all eternity. I am still as spry as ever. Shit! Anyway, video games. The operative No One Lives Forever is a first-person shooter, combining stylish action with interesting stealth mechanics, developed by Monolith Productions and published by Fox Interactive in 2000, with PlayStation 2 and macOS ports released in 2002. You can already tell by the game's title and general style that this is a parody of old spy films from the 60s, kinda like Austin Powers, if you remember those comedic masterpieces. Even though No One Lives Forever does have some humor elements in it, it manages to have an involved and intricate story without too much ridiculous stuff. Kind of, sort of. At the time of its release, it was a pretty big deal, with several Game of the Year awards, a sequel, and a spin-off under its belt. But is it still as enjoyable as it once was several years ago? Let's find out as we infiltrate in style, wearing our psychedelic uniform and executing our enemies with our groovy arsenal of weapons. It sounded better in my head, okay? Since No One Lives Forever is a tribute to the action thrillers of old, you can probably guess what the plot is about. You play as Cate Archer, a former thief turned into a secret operative for the international organization named Unity. I can see why they chose her. She has a fitting name for someone using primarily firearms and gadgets. Anyway, over half of Unity's agents have been murdered by an assassin of unknown origin. Without much choice, the organization entrusts Cate, Unity's first female spy, and her mentor Bruno with the important mission of uncovering the traitor behind these assassinations and dismantling the terrorist group known as Harm, who of course want to cause as much distraction as possible, since every villain is lemons. Unfortunately, Bruno is murdered on Cate's very first mission, leaving her on her own on a globe-trotting adventure to avenge him and save the world from harm. A pretty standard plot, allowing us to visit various exotic locations and experience some cool action set pieces. You also go to space in this game, because of course you do, it's a video game, and that's all the justification needed for that. Oh, did I mention that Cate is a woman? Don't worry if you forgot, the game will constantly remind you about it, using crude jokes and casual misogyny. I'm not even saying it as a political thing, I'm reviewing video games on the internet. I just want a game for God's sake. But I just don't like being berated by the game after finishing every mission, regardless of my gender. Granted, I'd always choose the aggressive dialogue options, and the game does take place in the 60s, but a certain degree of hypocrisy is unavoidable when reviewing media. It's fine though, eventually they do ease up to you. In any case, I enjoyed the game's plot, and Cate is a great protagonist, full of snark and with a no-nonsense attitude. There's plenty of humor too, although it didn't quite mess with me. Then again, I barely find anything funny because I'm a soulless husk of a man. Overall, there is some genuinely good stuff here. Regarding the game's presentation, No One Lives Forever doesn't feel at all like a game made in the early 2000s, and I mean that in the best way possible. The environments are pretty vast and full of little nooks and crannies that you can explore for extra stuff, while the textures have a surprising amount of detail and do a good job of portraying each area accurately. Sure, you can clearly tell they are being repeated over and over, but the game's atmosphere more than makes up for it. The developers intended to capture the essence of old spy movies and the psychedelic aesthetics of the 1960s, and I gotta say, they nailed it! With vibrant colors, interesting and varied locations, and an overall smashing vibe, this game has it all! Until you take a closer look at the characters, who haven't aged that well. Don't get me wrong, Cate looks great. Her skincare routine must be brutal though, because everyone else looks like a stretched out PNG with only the most basic animations available. It doesn't help that most of the game's cutscenes are just non-stop talking with shot, reverse shot, camera action. Oh well, at least it looks better than Deus Ex and Half-Life. As for the music, it's appropriately spy action themed, nothing too memorable or iconic, but still pretty interesting, and I enjoyed the dynamic arrangement of the tracks. When things are calm, the music is appropriately chill, but when you're getting shot, it becomes louder and more energetic to pump you up for the ongoing firefight, at least when the alarms blaring don't dominate the entire soundscape. All in all, the game has stunning graphics, exceptional sound, and a captivating style that seamlessly ties everything together. Before I delve into the gameplay, I want to talk about the hassle of running this game on a modern system. This game is old. Did I mention that already? I think I did. I don't know, I don't check my scripts. Yeah, and as a result, it has a 4:3 aspect ratio, a finicky aiming system, and several glitches and performance issues, like dialogue audio getting cut off, the frame rate dipping into the single digits every time I bring up the weapon selection menu, and the mouse sensitivity changing randomly. Of course, there is a modernizer patch to alleviate those issues, but I couldn't get it to work thanks to being part of the Windows 11 slave race. So instead, I opted for a widescreen patch for your viewing pleasure and my editing laziness. It causes some weapons to look all weird and stretched out, but it's a compromise I'm willing to make. Alright, technical woes section over, let's get into the action. No One Lives Forever is a first-person shooter, and a damn good one too. You have a large selection of weapons, including your standard pistol, a revolver, assault rifles, a carbine, and so on. Most weapons also have alternative types of ammo you can use to inflict burning or poison damage on your foes, or even make them hallucinate. Shooting is tight and responsive, and every gunfight is a nail-biting fight for your life because of how fragile you are. You can only replenish your health after completing a mission, but there are body armor pickups hidden in each level that you can use to ensure your survival. Still, missions are pretty damn long, so you have to be mindful of your surroundings and use your gadgets effectively, another spy trope that is superbly portrayed here. You have a lockpick, a zipcord, a safecracker, a welder, and spy glasses, to name a few, and almost all of them are disguised everyday items, which makes you feel like a real spy using high-tech technology to solve puzzles and get yourself out of sticky situations. Of course, being a spy means being sneaky and avoiding getting detected at all costs, which is where I have a confession to make. I am not a stealthy kind of guy. I just don't enjoy poop walking everywhere while waiting for the guards to finish telling their life stories. Plus, I suffer from something I like to call extreme bloodlust syndrome. I have to murder everyone I see and loot everything I can, and it's not any better in video games. Psychopathic behavior aside, while No One Lives Forever allows you to complete almost every mission either by being stealthy or by being Rambo without that pesky PTSD, the stealth mechanics didn't feel as tight as the shooting, at least for me. Enemies can detect you almost instantly, sometimes from a mile away. They run like cheetahs and are willing to sacrifice their lives just to press the alarm button to fuck your day up. Cameras have a much wider cone of vision than you would expect and are everywhere, which led to me getting caught at the beginning of each mission, having to kill everyone on sight and getting tortured by the never-ending sound of the alarm. Mission objectives aren't always clear, so you end up wandering these massive, maze-like layouts, trying to find the right door or the correct hidden thing to interact with. And when the mission has a forced stealth section where killing anyone or getting caught leads to failure, all the faults I mentioned culminate into a rage-inducing experience. A shame really, because No One Lives Forever maintains a very good pace of action and espionage, with various cool set pieces breaking up the action, like falling out of a burning plane and trying to grab a parachute from a bad guy before reaching the ground and turning into a fine paste, or scuba diving inside a wrecked ship, killing sharks and mercenaries with a harpoon gun. Or what about fighting a bulletproof soprano at the top of a building, luring her into electrified water to defeat her? Yeah, that's pretty weird. Thankfully you do go to space to keep things grounded in reality. Sure, the level layouts can be confusing, the stealth is sometimes awkward and punishing, and there are random difficulty spikes that really fuck you up, but I think the pros outweigh the cons here. There is plenty of variety regarding your equipment and mission objectives, while the gameplay is tense and always presents new challenges to overcome. Despite its age, the experience is still as fantastic as ever. So, is No One Lives Forever a good rooty-tooty point-and-shooty? Absolutely, no question about it. The graphics are great and the music perfectly captures the feeling of old spy movies. While sometimes the gameplay can be frustrating and confusing, the shooting is superb, the stealth is competent, and each level is a unique challenge that will test your skills and leave you wanting more. While you cannot technically buy the game because of nebulous legal issues regarding the owner of the game's rights, you can try your luck on Amazon or eBay, or just do what I did and download it from abandonware.com. Is that legal? I don't know, and frankly, I don't care. And that's all I had to say about the operative, No One Lives Forever. Thank you very much for watching, I hope you enjoyed it. Leave a like if you did, comment your thoughts below, and subscribe for more stuff. You know how it goes. You can also join my Discord and follow me on Twitter. Have a great day, and until next time, take care and have fun.